Well, that's absolutely trash. You know that. Plants don't scream, they don't pull away. It's clear they don't feel pain. I don't know how you even can compare chopping a carrot to slicing someone's head off. Hey everyone, and welcome. This is Brian, Animal Activist. I had some free time, so I wanted to share something with you guys. So I remember when I first went vegan, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is shocking what happens to animals, the suffering they go through, and yeah, I want to speak up for them. So all I've got to do is tell everybody, right? And they'll go vegan too. No, that's not the case, unfortunately. Maybe one or two, but in my case, 0 family members decided to go vegan. It's like I couldn't get through to them. It's as if the rest of the world has been programmed with answers to say no. So I wrote down some of those answers. I want to discuss them with you because after you go vegan and try and talk to your family, try and talk to your friends, your work colleagues. These are some of the answers you're going to get, okay? And I'm going to show you how to answer them. Okay, so let's look at. Oh, let me pull them up here. So here's our first one. Are you ready? And this was me saying, you know, animals feel pain and they suffer, and the response was, plants feel pain too. All right, so. I mean, if you look at this logically, if you're stabbing an animal and the animal's screaming and pulling away and there's blood squirting everywhere, versus you're chopping a carrot, there's no screaming, there's no pulling away, there's no blood going anywhere. It's clearly the difference. You can tell there's no pain here, but there's pain here. So in fact, plants feel pain too, it says. Well, the truth is a plant doesn't have nerve endings or a central nervous system or even a brain. A plant does feel somewhat stimuli from the weather and the sun, but to feel pain would be impossible for a plant to feel pain. Here's another one. Humans are natural meat eaters. It's the food chain. Natural meat eaters. Do you remember when you was a child sitting at the table at home and your parents said, you are not leaving that table till you finish that, kid? And you're pushing your vegetables and your meat around the plate. You don't want it. You just want to go and play with your friends. And then your mum would come back and say, at least just eat the meat and then you can go. And you would force it down and you know, and go out. So where's the natural part here? And then if you would have known as a child that the animals have to have their heads chopped off and the blood squirts out everywhere and they die and lose their life so you could eat that little piece of meat, you would know that is definitely not natural. Natural is picking a tomato off a plant and eating the tomato. Natural is not separating a mother from a child animal and killing them. There's no natural there. All right, let's look at number 3. Vegan food doesn't have enough protein. So I was worried about this at first, thinking, well, we've got to eat meat for protein, right? It's a myth. This world, the meat industry are lying to you. So where do you think cows and animals get their protein from? That's right, plants. So when we eat plants, and you can do a little nutrition class, you can Google which vegetables have the highest to the lowest proteins, and you're eating first-hand protein when you're eating from plants. When you eat from meat, it's a second-hand protein, which isn't even good for you. So vegans don't get enough protein? False. I've been vegan 5 years. Next one. Vegans are weak and unhealthy. Oh dear. I'm certainly not weak. I'm at the strongest and healthiest part of my life after 5 years being vegan. My cholesterol levels are perfect all the way across the board. And that's because we don't need an outside source of cholesterol. The body produces its own, so my veins stay healthy and the blood keeps pumping around. And that's the secret in being healthy is keeping that blood circulation strong. Weight? No, I haven't lost. I mean, when I first went vegan, I lost 10 pound in weight, but no, I'm strong as I've always been. So another false statement. Animals are here for us to eat. What? How would anyone even assume that? Um, do you think that animals just walk into the slaughterhouse and go, "You can kill me next, please. Kill me." No, they fight for the last breath. They don't want to die. And if we can actually throw in some religion there as well. So Genesis 1:29, God said to all animals that have a soul, a life force, as God breathed life into the animals and they have a soul, they have a life. And he said, all the plants will be your food too. All right, number 6. And I mean, I do get this quite a lot, but I don't know if they're being ignorant, rude, or but there you go. But bacon tastes good. All right, so firstly, I never went vegan because of the taste. I used to like the taste of meat. From a child, my mother has weaned me from milk onto meat, and I've learned to like it because there was nothing else. This is what we've been brought up on. So it's what we've got to ask ourselves the question, which is more important, our taste and pleasure or someone else's entire life? And would you kill the animal yourself? You know, you can buy vegan bacon if you really can't give up the taste. Cows need to be milked or they'll be in pain. Okay, that's a good one. However, we can't just falsely take this information in. We have to research these statements. So cows, first of all, don't naturally give milk. They have to be pregnant. And the farmers forcibly impregnate cows every single year and they have a baby. Now, they've done this on purpose so the cows lactate and give milk. So if we stop forcibly impregnating cows, they'll naturally dry up and won't be constantly producing milk. Eating meat is tradition and cultural. Okay, it has been for many, many years. So like other things like slavery was traditional and cultural in many countries. In China, it's cultural to eat dogs. The thought of them eating pigs, throws them. Um, Over here, it's tradition that we eat other animals and love some animals. Just because it's cultural and traditional doesn't make it morally acceptable. And change is always a good thing. And if we look at the ethics, the moral ethics about whether we should kill an animal or eat a vegetable, why can't we choose the most compassionate choice? We don't have to do something just because everyone else used to do it. Well, here's one that I get quite a lot. What about all the animals killed in crop farming? Okay, so if an animal is killed in crop farming, it's killed by accident. Normally, as a farmer comes along, is doing his crops, the moles, the grasshoppers, the little flies, all move out of the way. Occasionally, an animal will get killed accidentally. Now, this doesn't mean we should go out and mass murder trillions of animals. Did you know how many animals are killed a year? It's over 10 billion animals a year and 13 trillion sea life animals killed every single year for pleasure and taste. So just because we accidentally kill a couple of animals in the crop fields doesn't mean we should go out and mass murder billions of animals. Veganism is too expensive. Veganism is the cheapest food in the grocery stores. All your vegetables, all your fruits, your breads, your rices, your grains. Now, it is a little more expensive if you want to buy like vegan steak, vegan chicken, these, mock meats. So if you want to live a super healthy vegan lifestyle, you're going to save a lot of money because it's way cheaper. What about B12? You can't get B12 without meat. Again, another misleading statement. Where do you think animals get their B12 from? They're given an injection of B12, a supplement. That's right. Where do you think vegans get their B12 from? There's a couple of ways you can get it. B12 is rich in mushrooms, um, nutritional yeast, which I use myself. Nutritional yeast, super high in B12, or you can take a supplement. I know many meat eaters, non-vegans, take supplements too. You can get a B12 injection once a year, or you can take tablets or drops. So that's a totally false statement. You can't get B12 without meat. I only eat humane, grass-fed, free-range meat. Okay, so it's humane. What does that mean? Compassionate, kind. So we treat the animal kindly. Maybe they ate some grass, and free range means they wasn't locked in a cage. They were walking around. I mean, all these animals enter the same door at the slaughterhouse, where they're either gas chambered, electrocuted, and then have knives to the throat and drown on their own blood and ripped to pieces. The life is lost for taste and pleasure. So I only eat grass-fed, free range. These words are marketing words to manipulate you to not feel guilty when you're purchasing their flesh. If we don't eat animals, they'll overpopulate. If everyone went vegan today, there'd be animals running loose everywhere. Okay, that's very true. However, that's never going to happen. That's a theory. No one's going to go vegan all at once. It's impossible. But what is possible is you watching going vegan today. One person going vegan today. So the reason all these animals are killed, it's called supply and demand. So every time we go into the store and we give them our dollar and we purchase meat, we're directly responsible for that animal to be killed and then another one to be forcibly impregnated and brought back in. It's called supply and demand. If we slowly, gradually went vegan, they would stop forcibly impregnating the animals. The supply and demand would drop so low that they may even consider switching over to plant-based alternatives eventually. It would be a slow process. Vegans push their views on everyone. No, I try and hold you accountable. And that's the truth. I'm speaking up more for the animal that has no voice, that doesn't want to die. I want to say, hey, wait, put the knife down. You don't have to hurt the animal. If you was in the animal's position, wouldn't you want me to speak up for you too? Oh, here's one. I could never give up cheese. Yes, that's right. You couldn't give up cheese because do you know the secret about cheese? It has an important secret ingredient within the cheese called casomorphine. So that's ring a bell. Morphine, casomorphine. That's right. Mother cow produces casomorphine in her milk for her baby. So the baby wants that milk so badly and drinks it all. It's like an addictive property. So a baby cow grows big and strong. And The dairy industry are not telling you it's in there. Well, it'll probably be on the packet, yeah, but they're not going to tell you what it is. And that's why you love cheese so much. Vegans are just trying to be trendy. Okay, so no. Um, I admit there is some, celebrities out there that say they're going vegan and this is it, and they were never really vegan in the first place. There's many celebrities that have given up and said, "Oh, I'm not vegan anymore." They were never vegan in the first place. To go vegan, it's not a diet. It's about not wanting to cause suffering to any animal whatsoever. What would happen if all the farmers went vegan? Again, this would be a slow process. It's never going to happen all at once. Uh, I do know a farmer that was a dairy farmer and he slowly changed over. There's actually a group, a charity organization that helps farmers make transitions from dairy to almond milk. So this farmer does almond milk now. He grows almond trees and almond milk. So it's a slow process and it will happen as the supply and demand goes down. Animals don't have feelings or consciousness. So let me ask you, a human watching, prove to me you have a soul. Prove to me you have a conscience in there. We can't see it, right? And you can't see that with animals. But what we do know about animals is this. Animals have a brain, a central nervous system. They feel pain. Animals get hungry just like you and me. They breathe just like you and me. They bleed like you and me, and they certainly don't want to die just like you and me. Now, if you want to go into scriptures, Genesis 1:30 actually says God created all the animals, and all those that would have souls, a life force within them, will eat the plants. There you go. They have a conscience and they do have feelings. Vegan food is full of chemicals and processed ingredients. Yes, some of the mock meats do have a lot of processed foods in them. I don't know about chemicals, but everything in them is safe to eat. However, so I always suggest eating the cheapest foods in the supermarkets, the vegetables, the rice, the beans, the potatoes, all the breads. You don't have to buy the vegan mock foods. I can't go vegan because I have health conditions. Okay, so I'm not a doctor, so I can't give expert advice on this, but what I do know is, and I've done my research, Google plant-based, is plant-based living healthy for me? And there's many doctors out there have proven that any stage of life, from pregnancy, child, adult, senior, a plant-based diet is 100% healthier than a meat-based diet. 100%. There's many doctors have proven this. It's impossible to be 100% cruelty-free. So again, we'll define the word vegan. It means to cause the least amount of suffering towards all animals. So I live in a non-vegan world. There's only 1% vegan. So yeah. I might accidentally step on an ant. I might accidentally buy something and find out there's a little tag of leather on it. But it's about doing the best you can. So what do you think of these? You've heard any of these yet? Because they're gonna come once you go vegan. Here's how about this one? I only eat seafood, so I'm not contributing to animal cruelty. I don't know. I think before I went vegan, I guess I'm asleep, and I kind of saw animals just as food. I didn't see them as someone. And they are someone, including the shrimp, the whales, they fish. They all have a central nervous system. They breathe. They don't want to die. And eating seafood is 100% cruel. You know they boil lobsters alive. Can you imagine being boiled alive? It's disgusting. I don't know why anyone could get that one wrong. Animals eat other animals, so it's fine. So, first of all, um, other animals that eat other animals, I'm going to give you an example like a lion, has been backed up into a corner and they have no choice. They're in survival mode. And when it comes to be honest, moral agency, well, we have a moral agency. We know the difference between right and wrong. Do we really think the lion does? Or is the lion controlled by his or her stomach, right? Like maybe you. Um, Again, you can go to scriptures if you want. Genesis 1:28 and 1:29. Animals are meant to be eating plants. Maybe they eat animals because they watched a human killing an animal and think it's okay. All right, so there we go. There's a whole bunch of I would call them intelligent, would you say? Intelligent non-vegan responses when I tried to outreach to them when I first went vegan. You're going to get them. So be prepared and good luck. I hope you enjoyed going over these objections with me. I want to thank you all for watching and take care. So thank you for watching. If you haven't already seen this documentary, it's called Dominion. And the address is right there in the right-hand corner. It's dominionmovement.com. Learn the truth from the meat, egg and dairy industry and how they deceive, manipulate, program, condition people to turn a blind eye.